Hi everyone, and welcome to Gloomhaven. So this is actually a result of a Patreon vote we did just recently. And it's basically a soft relaunch of what I used to do a few years ago. I'm sure many of you remember. And one of the reasons I want to do it again is because I got a lot of support on Patreon over the years. And it's not an exaggeration to say that it's one of the reasons I can continue doing this to begin with. Especially with how poorly my channel has been doing the past few years. But that's not really a big secret. But I'm not breaking any records here for the past few years. So I'm really grateful for all the support I got on Patreon. And I want to do more for all the people who supported me over there and continue to support me over there. So this is what we'll be doing. And I will make a few changes compared to how it worked a few years ago. So, first of all, it might not be exactly one game per month. It will depend on a bunch of different factors. How long the game we were doing previously is, how much other stuff I got going on at the time. The gist of it is that I don't want to feel pressured to rush to fit exactly one game in 1 month. So sometimes it might be, I don't know, a month and a half. Other times it might be, 3 weeks. I will move on to the next game when we're done with the previous one. And the second thing is that I will post the start on YouTube. So it might be more than one video, it might be a few. Again, it will depend on the nature of the game. And then I will continue the rest over on Patreon, where if you would like to support me there, you can get access to everything that's ever been posted there for just $1 single. And that's how it's going to work. That's the idea, at least. I did make a whole post about all of this over on Patreon. If you want to check that out, there will be a link in the video description. And I'm hoping this will provide more value to people who, again, supported me for many years over there. Because I had Patreon running since, 2016, I think? It's been quite a few years. And I'm really grateful for the support I got there. Again, like I said, it's really not an exaggeration to say that it's one of the reasons I'm able to continue doing this in the first place. Because the past few years have not been good for me. So with all that said, let's get into Gloomhaven, shall we? Now, I actually never played the board game. I know it exists, I know it's popular, but I have never played it. I did play this game a little bit, like 2 years ago or something like that. But it wasn't much. I vaguely remember doing the tutorial. So I think we'll start from the tutorial, because I assume many of you will also not be familiar with Gloomhaven. And I don't want to jump in without knowing the rules. I do remember the rules were pretty interesting, definitely unique. There are 2 different game modes here. There's the original board game campaign, and there's a new digital-only mode designed, just for this game, basically. So we'll probably do the digital-only mode, but I think first we'll do the tutorial, because again, I need to remind myself how to actually play this to begin with. And there are quite a few tutorials in here. Some of them are pretty short, if I remember correctly. Alright, let's do it then. I probably remembered some of the stuff here, but not all of it. Definitely not all of it.
Welcome, Guildmaster. I'm the Guild Trainer, and I'm here to guide you through setting up your own mercenary guild. Let's start with you guiding the brute through this first tutorial.
Alright. Before we get to the action, you'll want to acquaint yourself with how to adjust your view on the battlefield, so let's start with camera controls. Normal camera controls, like in all other games, basically. Alright. In Gloomhaven, you control a party of mercenaries, each equipped with a deck of ability cards. These cards are how your mercenaries will explore dungeons, fight enemies, and loot treasure. At the beginning of each round, the first thing to do is to select 2 cards for each mercenary to use on their turn. In this tutorial, the Brood has just 3 cards at his disposal, as you can see highlighted on the left. Grab and Go, Trample, and Provoking Roar. Provoking Roar is grayed out to indicate that it is currently discarded, for the sake of the tutorial. So for now, just select the 2 cards the Brood has available. Alright? See how the question mark next to the Brood's portrait is now at the top of the screen has changed into a number. This shows his initiative. The number next to the first card you select determines the character's initiative for the round. The lower the number, the earlier in the round the character will act. Since there are no other characters visible right now, it will immediately be the Brood's turn anyhow. Alright? So that's the selection. And now it is the Brood's turn. Time to choose some actions. Each half of the card represents an action comprised of 1 or more abilities. You get to use 2 actions per turn, and you can pick any of the 4 card halves on the left to use as your first action. But note that you must then use the opposite side of the other card for your second. Alright? For example, here you can choose either the top half of Trample and the bottom half of Grab and Go, or the bottom half of Trample and then the top half of Grab and Go. There's nothing for the Brood to do in this room, so you'll want to proceed through the door to see what lies beyond with the move ability. Grab and Go's bottom half lets the Brood move 4 hexes, which is enough to get through the door. Let's use that. Okay. So now we can move. That's technically 3 because that's the door. Alright, open door. This room contains your first enemy, a bandit guard. Like player characters, monsters also select actions for their turn. Let's find out what this bandit's planning to do this round by hovering over his portrait. Okay. Move, attack. Whilst hovered, you can see Bandit's intentions this round. He plans to move and attack. Whereas player characters get 2 actions per turn, monsters only get 1, albeit often with multiple abilities within. Notice how this Bandit has lower initiative than the Brood, and would have acted before Brood this round had he been visible. As it is currently the Brood's turn, however, you'll get to finish his turn before the Bandit can act. Let's get the Brood close enough to use the attack on the Trample's top half as the second action for the turn. Alright, so we can still move 1 tile because we had 4 move. Now that you finished using Grab and Go for the turn, it is discarded and no longer usable until you return it to your hand through resting. More on that later. For now, it's time to attack. So we can select the top half. Whenever you attack, an attack modifier is drawn from your character's modifier deck, and that value is applied to your attack. In this case, you can see above the Bandit Guard that a +0 modifier was drawn, so your attack still just deals the base value of 3 damage. For this tutorial we only have +0 modifiers in effect to keep things simple. We'll explore the other attack modifiers later. Okay. Now it is the Bandit's turn. As we saw on his card earlier, he intends to move and then perform a melee attack for 3 damage. However, as he is already within melee range of the Brood, he will simply forego moving and get straight to the attack. Alright? While monsters always take damage directly to their hit points, whenever a player character is damaged, you are presented with 3 options. Firstly, you can simply take the damage to your character's hit point total. However, if this is reduced to 0, your character is exhausted, which means they can no longer act in this scenario. If all your mercenaries are exhausted, you will lose the scenario. Secondly, you can choose to burn 2 discarded ability cards instead of receiving the damage. If you burn a card, it can no longer be recovered by resting. However, if you were to burn 2 of your Broad's cards here, he would not have enough cards left for the following turn, and thus would be exhausted. Finally, you can choose to burn 1 available card. This option is grayed out, as all of the Broad's cards are currently discarded. Okay? It is usually wise to take the damage over burning cards if possible, lest you run out of cards to finish the scenario with. Makes sense? For now, let's opt to just take 3 damage. Alright, so take the damage. The bandit's turn is now over, as he was the last character to act. It is the end of the round and a new round begins. During ability card selection, if you have at least 2 discarded cards, then you may perform a long or short rest to recover some of them. All of the Broad's ability cards are currently discarded. Long rest doesn't count as a card, and as such he will have to rest to continue. Short rest will burn 1 of your discarded cards at random, losing it for the rest of the scenario, but will recover all of the older discarded cards before continuing your turn as normal, so you can recover cards to use immediately in this very turn. Long rest takes up the whole turn and is used instead of selecting 2 ability cards, giving the character initiative of 99. However, you not only get to choose which card to burn instead of it being at random, but the character will perform a heal 2 action and refresh all item cards. Okay. Choosing to long rest here would be certain death if the bandit draws an attack card for the round, as the Broad has neither health nor cards to spare, so let's choose to short rest. Okay. So burn 1 discarded card at random. Grab and Go has been randomly discarded. Okay. Once per short rest, you can opt to redraw the random card to burn at the cost of 1 damage, but with the Brute only on 1 health, this isn't an option. Okay. You can see Grab and Go is now dark red to indicate it's burned and no longer usable in the current scenario. In exchange, Trample and Provoking Roar have been returned to hand and are available to use again. Both the Brute and the Bandit are near death, so it is crucial to go as early as possible in the round to get the first attack. Remember, the first card you choose determines the Brute's initiative, so let's choose Provoking Roar to maximize the chance Brute is first, with low initiative of 10. Alright? There you go. He has 50. Now we are in the same room as the bandit. We can see that the enemies draw their ability cards each round after the players, so you won't know what they'll be doing or what their initiatives will be until this point in the round. It appears the bandit was planning to once again use a move and an attack, but because you chose to act quickly with initiative of 10, he won't have those active until after the Brute's turn, due to slower initiative of 50. Right? So I can just attack him and kill him. Where's the health exactly? Wait, 5? No, 2. Okay, yeah, I see it. 2 out of 5. 5 is the max. He has 2 out of 5, so now he'll be dead. Alright, that's the first tutorial out of 10. Got him. Do you see that gold on the floor the bandit left behind? To pick it up, you need to use the loot ability. One important rule of Gloomhaven to bear in mind is that you don't automatically loot treasure unless you finish your turn on it, if you want it. Make sure to pick it up before the scenario ends. Loot abilities can also appear on ability cards, but the easiest way to collect it here is to end your turn on the hex that contains the gold pile. Okay? But wait, look at Provoking Roar. it doesn't have a move ability on the bottom half action, so how can the Brute reach the gold? This is where default actions come in handy. To the left and the right of the central initiative value are two small default action buttons. These allow the character to perform a melee attack for 2 instead of the top action, or a default move of 2 instead of the bottom action. Right, so here and here. Alright. So default move, and then we can move. Makes sense? Since you only need to move 1 hex for the Brute to reach the gold, we can skip the remaining movement. Okay, there's the gold.
Not only did you vanquish the lone bandit guard, you've even managed to pick up a few pieces of gold.
Yeah, whole 2 gold. We're rich now.
With the basics covered, it's now time to introduce you to some slightly more dangerous scenarios.
But just slightly, am I right? Alright, so let's move on to the next one.
Welcome to your first training mission. You've learned the basics, but now you must help the gravely wounded Brute deal with a bandit archer elite, a stronger enemy with greater stats than normal.
Hey, that's not fair.
With only a single hit point remaining, any amount of damage getting through will cause the Brute to become exhausted. As such, you will have to avoid any incoming damage by burning cards. For the sake of training, your objectives to start are: take down the archer with a single attack. Loot the gold she drops.
With a single attack, alright. What do we have here? Attack 3, range 3. Okay, but there's attack on the bottom as well. Shield bash, attack 4 and stun. Okay, so this is 6 total. And 15 initiative. But then we also are supposed to pick up the gold? Oh, overwhelming assault. That's 6. Right, okay. That makes sense. Okay. That sounds easy then, unless I'm missing something. Oh, he has 14 initiative. Right, so now we can burn the cards then. Alright, so burn 1 available card. Let's do that. Then we can attack. So 6.
Overwhelming Assault is a powerful card, but such power comes at a cost. Actions like Overwhelming Assault's top half, with the flaming card icon in the corner, cause the card to be burned once used, meaning you can't use it again in this scenario.
Oh, it's a one-time use.
Time to...
Alright, alright. Makes sense. Yeah, this icon here. Well, there's the gold.
Good job. With no enemies left and your objectives complete, the scenario normally would have ended already, leaving that chest behind. However, for the sake of training, I'm going to set you another objective. Loot the chest. Before you rush headlong into that trap, you might want to heal up a bit first. I'd suggest taking a long rest.
Okay, long rest. Select the discarded card to burn. Okay, so now we have 3 health. And now we can move. Okay, I guess that's it. I don't actually have to do anything else. Boots of Striding. During your movement, add +2 move to a single movement. Okay, but that sounds pretty nice. That's the second tutorial done.
Striding will come in handy next.
Next, light on your feet.
So, you've learned about the basic attack and move abilities, but this time we're going to use some abilities with additional effects. A move action with a jump effect will help you here. Jump allows you to cross tiles containing obstacles or enemies. Those boots of striding you picked up last time can be used to increase a move ability by 2 hexes.
Okay.
You don't have the damage to take her out in one go, but if you act fast, you could apply the disarm condition to her before she can attack. Your objectives for this first round are: use a jump movement to get across the traps unscathed, disarm the archer before she attacks.
Alright. Leaping cleave. Move, jump. Provoking roar, grab and go. Attack, disarm. Alright. .44 initiative. Yeah, so first we want to move and jump. And then attack and disarm. And we want to use the boats. Alright. That's enough movement. Alright. That makes sense.
You did it. Not only did you get a decent hit in with provoking roar, but thanks to the disarm condition you applied, the archer couldn't attack for the turn. She's low on health now, so you should be able to finish her off. Your objectives this turn are: kill the archer, jump over the traps, and loot the chest.
Okay, remember that short rests allow you to recover discarded cards immediately to use in this very turn. A long rest, however, takes up the whole turn and is used instead of selecting 2 ability cards. Right, yeah. So, short rest. That's fine. No need to redraw, I don't think so. Right? Yeah, he has 2 health left. So no need. The same thing as before, I guess. Yeah. Attack, range, 5. So first attack for 2, and then we can move and jump. Alright. Yeah, so rules are not that complicated. During your turn, perform a heal free self action. Alright? I bet that will be used in the next tutorial.
A rest, stab, and a jump right onto the chest. Nicely done. That potion will surely be of use in the missions to come.
Alright. Next. That's 3 out of 11, actually. So far. Alright, next.
To be a successful guildmaster, you need to pay close attention to enemy actions and try to
this is
plan
quite
your
a few
moves around
enemies.
them. Just one simple objective for you this time. Don't get attacked. You'll have to start over. You'll need to escape this room by opening the door in front of the brute. But remember that enemies in the next room will also get to act. My advice? Act quickly, looking carefully at what actions the enemies are going to take. I've said it.
Okay. Well, No need to jump, I guess. That gives us 4 move. And we'll go first. Yeah, here's a guy. What's his range? Move 2. So we can stay where we are, right? Yeah? I think so. Can it be that simple? Oh, wait. No, it's fine, is it? Yeah, it's fine.
Excellent. You eluded the enemies in both rooms. Opening a door will always add more enemies to deal with, so make sure you're prepared for that when opening doors in future scenarios. Just one more round of bandit dodging to complete them. You'll find it tricky to locate a safe space this time. Perhaps you could...
Okay. Well, I guess I need to rest. Okay, we can burn, grab and go. There's a disarm. So, I'll probably disarm this guy in front of us or something. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that will work. Push 1. Target all adjacent enemies. Alright. What's this again? Infuse element, air. It infuses the battlefield with the air element available to be used after the current character's turn and is available for a single character to use for the rest. Okay, I assume that will be explained later. Okay, I assume this will work. We will go first. So first we can move and then disarm this guy. There you go. Now he's disarmed. And we should be fine. Alright, there we go.
Excellent stuff. You're well on your way to becoming a professional.
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
How about that disarm? Pretty powerful condition, eh? That and a nice low initiative of 10 makes provoking roar a really nifty ability for getting out of nasty scrapes. One more test, and then I think you'll be ready to start exploring.
Okay, next. Whoops. So next up, attack modifiers.
Let's talk about attack modifiers. So far in your training, characters have always drawn a +0 attack modifier, meaning their attacks have always dealt the exact damage value specified on the cards. This is not normally the case. In real scenarios, for each attack, the character will draw an attack modifier which influences the damage dealt. These can increase the damage by +1, +2, or ×2. Decrease by -1, -2, or ×0.
×0. Yeah, I see where this is going.
As you've seen with a +0.
RNG.
You can see the contents of a character's modifier deck by hovering over any character. Note that unlike player characters, all monsters share a single attack modifier deck.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong with a ×0
For this
modifier?
training scenario, these archers have just 2 attack modifiers remaining in their decks, ×2 and ×0. We want them to draw the ×0 to deal no damage, and we're going to give them disadvantage to ensure that.
Okay.
Ranged attacks have disadvantage when their target is on an adjacent hex. This forces the attacker to draw 2 modifier cards instead of just 1, and the worst result is selected.
Interesting.
As these archers only have 2 modifiers remaining, if they attack with disadvantage, they will draw both, but be forced to choose the ×0 over the ×2 as the worst result, dealing no damage. You can see when disadvantage will apply from the flashing purple symbol next to the health bar. You can only disadvantage one archer here, so kill the other with a ranged attack. Should be easy, as the Brute's attack modifier deck is full of +1s for this mission. You can thank me later. Your objectives are...
Okay, yeah, sounds interesting. So there's the ranged attack. And I guess we'll use Bleeping Cleave. Yeah, I can move 3, that's enough. I mean, not that it makes a big difference in this case. Alright, so first move. Here is fine. And the ranged attack. Yeah, so we roll the +1. And here we can see attack modifiers on the right side. Okay. Okay, so this guy will do 0.
See how she drew both the ×0 and ×2 modifiers? Disadvantage forced her to draw 2 attack modifiers and use the worst one. You also saw how your attack with Spare Dagger drew a +1, thus dealing 4 damage total. Your final objectives are...
Okay, kill the archer, load the chest. Well, I can't the long rest. So short rest it is then. Okay, this is fine. Alright. So attack and then move. +1. Hitter shield. When damaged by an attack, gain shield 1 for the attack. Alright.
You've finished your basic training missions.
Go us.
Time to introduce you to the other mer...
Okay, so these are like the mega basics. Whoops. We're basically, well, almost halfway done with the tutorial. The Brute is in a struggle against living bones. Use everything you've got to make sure they stay dead for good. Alright. Let's begin looking more closely at what each individual character can do. In this scenario, Brute has 2 level 1 living bones elites to deal with, which means their stats will be greater than their level 0 counterparts. Monster stats are combined with a base ability card drawn for the monster's class turn, resulting in the cards you see when the monster's cards for the round are revealed. So expect them to move a bit further and attack a bit harder, especially as they are elites. Okay. Note that now they both have an innate shield 1 effect, indicated by the shield icon. Right? Each point of shield prevents 1 damage from incoming attacks. However, an amount of shield can be ignored if targeted with an attack with Pierce. Okay. I have it on good authority that these living bones are going to attack more than once each this turn. You are low on cards and won't be able to afford to burn any cards, so surviving here will require some shielding of your own. By the way, while these enemy shields are an innate persistent effects, normally active bonuses granting abilities such as shield are accompanied by round or persistent duration icon. Your objectives are kill living bones using attack with Pierce, Apply some shield and use minor healing potion. Okay. So, shield bash. That will give us 1 shield. That's the only thing that will give us shield. How much health do they have? 3 and 6. So, attack for free with Pierce. I guess that's what we need. Move 4, attack 2. Target 1 enemy with all attacks. Okay. Alright. Right, so... attack. We have 0 attack modifier. And then I apply shield and also use the healing potion, I guess. And we should survive that. There you go. So receive damage. Oh yeah, we also have the hitter shield here. When damaged by an attack, gain 1 shield for the attack. Alright. So we can receive 1 damage instead. Okay, this is also fine. Yeah, that's a lot of attacks. But we're fine. Your shield prevented enough damage to keep the brute alive. Kill remaining living bones. Yeah, he has 6 health. Perhaps you could use the push and trap combo. Not that shield only prevents damage from attacks, but it doesn't do anything against direct damage, such as from traps, alright? Sounds fun. Attack, push. Okay. So, well, we want to push him, obviously. Wait, can I kill him? Oh, this will do 3 damage, so I can, right? Well, once I push him... No, wait, 3 damage, this will do 2 damage because he has 1 shield. So he'll be at 1 health. Yeah, no, I can actually kill him if we use Spare Dagger first. There. As long as we get the lower initiative. Yep. Yeah, so first attack, normally, and then attack and push. That's 1 damage because of the shield. And this should kill him. So where's the push? Oh yeah, now I can decide to push him 1 or 2, alright. And he dead. Then again, he was already dead to begin with. Now he's deader. Save the brute yet again. I hear he's decided that adventuring alone is not working out. So he agreed to be the first mercenary in your guild. Let's get out of this dusty crypt and see who else we can recruit. Alright. So next, the scoundrel has 2 daggers and a lot of gold to loot, and she isn't planning on leaving anything behind. Meet the scoundrel. She's incredibly nimble and mobile, not to mention able to combo off huge amounts of melee damage when things line up just right. Let's help her out of this sticky situation. Kill 3 archers this round before they attack? Okay. You'll certainly need something that can hit more than 1 target at a time. So throwing knives, 2 targets, 2 damage, range 3. They all have 2 health? Yep, they do. Attack 3. Well, I mean, I would have to move first for this one. Oh yeah, here, pole to range 3. Okay, I guess that's that. So, 2 targets, they are all 3 tiles away. Bye-bye. And then here. We can pull him into the trap. Alright. Feels good picking off multiple targets in a single turn, doesn't it? One last objective. Loot at least 5 piles of gold this round. Sometimes the top half of the card allows you to move too. Right? Loot abilities pick up all of the gold within the radius specified by the value, so you work out where you need to stand and get looting. Right? Well, first I need to rest. Quick hands. Loot 1. Loot 2. Okay. Hold on though. Yeah, I can stand here. And everything will be in range? Well, no, this one will not be in range. Wait, hold on. What? I must be missing something. Okay, I think I'm missing something. I will have to move one way or the other. Okay, I think I'm missing something here. Wait, loot at least 5. Right. I don't need every single one, I just need 5. Okay, alright. I thought I need every single one of them, but no. I don't. Okay, well, that's not a problem then. So we can just stand here doesn't matter. Yeah, this is like 7 piles total. Then we can loot. AoE looting. There, okay, that's that. Alright. For your assistance in this scenario, the scoundrel has agreed to join the guild. That means we've got enough mercenaries now for a proper mission. Master the elements. Spellweavers are a powerful race, but vulnerable in close combat. Learn how to use the elements to your advantage. Okay, this is quite a few dudes. Meet the Spellweaver, a powerful but fragile magic wielder who can harness the natural elements of the world. Good thing we found her when we did, and that's a lot of bandits. To get her out of this mess, you'll need to harness the power of the elements infused in the battlefield. The elemental infusions display can be seen on the right of the screen, indicating which magical elements are available for consuming. In this scenario, the ice element is already infused, but elements are normally infused for 2 rounds through using actions with elemental symbols on them, available for consumption after the turn in which they are infused. Yeah, we saw that earlier. So consume ice element to augment Freezing Nova's attack, killing as many bandits as you can. Survive the round by using jump to get out of reach. Okay, so Freezing Nova. Target all adjacent enemies. Immobilize. Okay, and here's the ice element. So when we use that, we get +1 attack, okay? And then we can move in the jump. Makes sense? Alright. So, Freezing Nova. Infuse. Can I actually move into a safe spot though? I mean, maybe? Is there really a safe spot anywhere around here? This doesn't look very safe to me. Yeah, I think I messed that up. Oh wait, there's a door? No, there isn't. Yeah, no, this is not safe. That is not it. By consuming the ice element, freezing Nova dealt 3 base damage instead of 2, knocking out 3 bandits plus applying immobilized condition, so the bandits couldn't... Oh yeah, right, because they were also immobilized. Right, the wind also infused the air element for you to use later if need be. You may have noticed, with only 3 unburned cards remaining, the Spellweaver will be exhausted after the next turn is over, so you cannot return burned cards through resting. Okay. Fortunately, the Spellweaver has a very powerful trick up her sleeve. Many of her powerful cards may burn after usage, but the top half of Reviving Ether allows her to return all of her burned cards to her hand. Getting the timing right on this one-time recovery per scenario of all burned cards is key to using Spellweaver well. Right, okay, so you can return all the burned cards once per scenario. Interesting. I still need short rest though. Yeah, now I need to redraw. Okay. Now I can use 2 of these. Is that actually going to work though? Maybe. 2 of them will still be alive. So I'll need an extra turn. And I'll need to not die. They can't move enough, can they? No, they can't. Yeah, this is all good. Alright, Mana Bolt. How much health do they have? Yeah, now this is easy, I guess. Fire Orbs. 3 targets. Heal for free. This sounds really good. Okay, so that's 7 initiative. There you go. We can heal ourselves. Not that there's any need right now. Okay, that's that. For helping her out of that bind, the Spellweaver agreed to join our guild. As you saw, her abilities can be incredibly potent, but she can be a difficult character to work with due to the complexity of her tactics. Alright? So we still have a few remaining here. 3 more remaining. However, we're at 50 minutes now, so I think that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. I will continue this. The next one will probably still be here on YouTube. But yeah, anyway, like I said at the start, I will be doing this kind of thing regularly. If you want to read some more details, check out my Patreon page. And thanks for watching again, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.